Welcome to part 2 of our Aeries gradebook tutorial. So I went ahead and made the Honors World History, also have assignments, the categories for that. So I'm going to show you how to add assignments. It's really straightforward. You can click from this Add Assignments menu directly, or you can go into the item and click Assignment, and you can click Add Assignment here. You can also look for older assignments based on the description that you put or the assignment number. We haven't made anything yet, so we're going to go to here. You could also make an assignment by going to Manage, clicking Assignments. There's more than one way to get to Houston. As long as we stay on the road, we're good. So we're going to add assignment. So we can change the assignment number. That's really important if you have your gradebook ordered by the assignments. So I've been playing around, so we're going to use that. Type doesn't really matter. It's going to be a daily grade. So there's some settings that you can play with to change. You can have the system automatically drop grades for you. If, like me, your quizzes are daily grades, but you don't ever want to be dropped, you'll click this. Extra credit works in this system the way it works. If you put in extra credit, however many points you make this, don't worry about it. If you want to do extra credit, you can ask me about it, but I'm pretty sure the way you already do extra credit, you're not going to need that. Narrative grading, if you are grading on a rubric, or if you're doing a pass-fail option and you want to do that, instead of just using 100 or 90, you can talk to me about it, but it doesn't really matter. The narrative grading, it's a whole other system. It's kind of long. So assigned on and due on. This is actually important. If you're like me and you ignore it, you might need to pay attention. So the way the system works is if a student, depending on the assigned date and the due date, it's going to change which grades the system drops. It also may not give the students the assignment if you don't have the correct days on there. So if the students, let's say if you make the assignment today, if you have assigned on the 2nd, the students aren't enrolled in class yet, or the first day of school. Say a student doesn't get enrolled until the 2nd day. If you had assigned on the first day of class and the student wasn't in there yet, they might not see it. And if you don't adjust the due date and the student comes in late, they may not see it. So you want to make sure your due dates, your assigned due dates, reflect when they'll actually be working on it, because they actually won't be able to see it. This section is really important. So the way the gradebook grades items, you don't put in the percentage they got. You put in the number of questions they got correct. But I don't think any of us grade like that. So just turn both of these to 100. And when you grade, you just put in, if they had a 95, you put a 95. If they had a 67, you put in a 67. Grading completed. If you check this box, your students aren't going to see what they need to see until after you've checked a box when you're grading the assignments later. I'm probably going to leave this off. That's just me. So this is a cool feature. You can push this assignment to other gradebooks. So since we have it grouped up, I already made the categories. These have stars because I didn't make the categories for them. After you make the categories, you can send it. So you can send it to the individual class. I'm not sure why you would, because they're grouped and it's going to cause some problems. So you can export this assignment to the group. So notice I just pressed save. This is still here. I have to press save and close for it to go away. So it's going to refresh. It's going to show us the assignment that we made. We can go back and edit it. We can also enter the marks, that means the grades. This shows you the settings that you changed. You can fix those. So boom, we're going to go to enter marks. So since we put it, boom, 13, they got a 13. If we did not change this to 100 at 100, for example, say this was out of 10, 10, we would have only got, I'll show you. So we're going to make a new assignment, and I'm not going to change that setting. So number correct possible, 10, points possible, 100. So watch this. So now we're going to save and close so it goes away. So now we can go to the next assignment by pressing this right arrow. We can also do scores by class, which is how most of us do it. And it shows quiz 1, TRN. It's color code at the top. So now if I put in 100, you see how the student grade percentage jumped up a lot? It's because it is reading the assignment, it's reading the score based on of out of 10, not based on that is 100%. So if they got 9 correct, boom, it makes it a 90. I strongly recommend making it 100 out of 100, so you can just put in percent. So I'm going to go to the dashboard. So I'm going to go to this honors world history, and we're going to see a couple things. First thing, boom, there's an assignment in here. It's quiz 1. That's exactly what we wanted. We sent this over. So if you are just going to have a bunch of quizzes or tests and they have the same name, you can export them to other groups or other classes. So now if I go to the assignments, I can go here. We can look at it directly. When you import, I went to the wrong thing. If you import or export something from a class, it's going. So we're going to go to manage to go to the category. If you import or export something from a class, I changed the category name so I could show you this point. So we're going to the assignments. This assignment that we imported, it is going to randomly put it into a category when you import or export it between your classes. So you need to make sure and have it in the correct category. You don't want your daily grade to turn into a major grade. So the last thing to do is to go over the way the scoring works. Very simple thing. A student is, this is the comment box. You can press the arrows to give you some information and leave a note. I'm pretty sure the parents can see that, so do what you're going to do. And let me go to assignments. Let me go to the quiz. So now we can import the grade. If I put TX, that is what our old M for missing was. So let's put the assignment as missing. So now if I put, what was it? In A, this is excused. TX, missing. NA, excused. TX, missing. NA, excused. I know we hate change. It's stupid. Why? What do the letters mean? I don't know. It's just what we do. So now I click grade and complete. It's telling the system that I'm done. You will see that every single grade that I did not put in turns orange. That means it's missing. Those go in as 0 or the minimum score that you put in. Even though it's great done, you can go back in and adjust the grades. I'm not 100% sure what the grade and complete changes. I'm pretty sure, let me phrase that. I know that it changes what the parents can see, but as far as our end is concerned, I don't know what the difference is between having graded and not graded, except for in the event of submitting it to Tello. But I don't know. I could be wrong. This is new. Yeah, you can go in and change the numbers. So I didn't put a max value, so it put in that number. If I would have put the 150 from earlier, this would say 150 instead of that big number. I think those are all the major highlights. If you'd like a tutorial of me going over how to adjust the drop rates, I can do that. Just let me know. Shoot me an email. So we're about to hit time again. So I hope this answers all the questions. It probably doesn't. We have a billion more, but I hope this gets your foot in the door. Peace.